All right, guys, so welcome back into another course preview video here. Got the Players Championship. It's finally back after that round one tease of every shot, every golfer last year where everyone was pumped up for it. Then it got delayed. 9 to 5 had a great round one going as well. So I'm extremely excited to get this event back. Personally, it's one of my favorite PGA DFS events. So let's get right into it, guys. All right, so just a quick example too. Here is kind of the leaderboard from last year's round one. Hideki was kind of low owned, and he was in the top 5 for the player pool. And then same for Daniel Berger and Webb Simpson. 3 of the top 5 players were, in a great position to go out and win. And then also I remember Jonathan Vegas here. He was like 6.3 on DraftKings. He was like easily like not a lock value play, but at his price point, you just kind of had to end up on him a lot last year. Really unfortunate that that one didn't go through. But this week we do have the Players Championship back. They are going to have every shot, every golfer apparently as well. So I'm pretty excited for it. Let's get into the breakdown. And then just that being said as well, we do not have any course history data from last year, 2020. Obviously we don't. So I had to go back to 2016, which I typically don't like to do. The more you go back with like the course data, it becomes less significant. There's a huge drop off from 4 years to 5 years, and then there's a huge drop off from 5 years to really any other year. So personally, I just ended at 4 years most of the time. Now, obviously, we're going to go 5 years back with 2016, but still, it's a tournament that does typically play the same here. So, we will be able to compare a lot. So let's just kind of break it down here for you guys. So overall, the weather hasn't played a huge difference that much. In 2018 and 2016, the weather was, good. We saw the lowest, relatively low scores there. We saw in 2017, though, it was mixed conditions, which led to it being a lot tougher. Mixed conditions are windy and rainy conditions, and then bad weather. We saw bad weather, which is 20 plus mile per hour winds. Not a huge difference there. It didn't play too difficult. Average winning score here is minus 14, almost 15 under par, and then average cut line is, right around even par, but I would imagine that's going to be right around 1 under par, kind of like we've seen a little bit consistently there. Obviously, 2 out of the 4 years there. But we kind of know what to expect from this course. It's kind of a fun one in that, sense where we've seen it a bunch of times. But we'll go over the course data here and see what it tells us. So just right off the bat, once again, when a course does play a little bit more difficult, I typically like to look at bogey avoidance just right off the bat in terms of players that are going to make the cut. It's just one of the more predictable stats. Then we also see that par 5 scoring as well. If you kind of combine those two, if a player's not making many bogeys and they're scoring on the par 5s, they're going to have a much higher likelihood to obviously go on and make the cut. So that is something that I typically like to look at when, of course, it's par 72 and also when it does play a little bit more difficult. And obviously we see that this year, so I'm excited for that. And then just real quick as well, guys, after this video, about an hour after I post this video, I'm going to have the Core Plays video out and ready for you guys on YouTube as well. So you guys can click to that one as well. The data will be from Sunday, so I'll have to get updated on Monday as well, but for the most part it'll be pretty darn accurate. Shout out to DraftKings and everywhere else for getting the salaries out early for us. That was pretty awesome. But now let's break it down into the top 20. So players that finish inside the top 20, what are the key stats that kind of are the main factors there? So we really start to see where bogey volume starts to fall off there. And we start to see birdie to bogey ratio start to take more of a key factor there, which makes a ton of sense. So I think I'm going to be in a toss up between bogey avoidance and birdie to bogey ratio. Might have to do a combination stat with those two. I don't know. But, I think I'll start to favor birdie to bogey ratio. We'll have to see. But what else do we start to notice? We start to see driving accuracy over driving distance there. So driving distance, not as much of a key factor there at all. This one's actually not that high at all. We start to see that 200 plus yardage range become a little bit of a factor there as well. Ball striking starts to come into play. Strokes gained approach starts to come into play. So we kind of got a pretty good picture of what to expect there. And now let's look at the top 10 here. See if anything adjusts drastically here. No, so it kind of stays the same for the most part. Birdie to bogey ratio, obviously that one's coming up a little bit more. Strokes gained approach even more so. A little bit more the 175 to 150 yards range for top 10. Although I think that could just be a matter of which golfer that was at that point. You're only looking at maybe 12 players, T10 or better. you know, through those years. So not too crazy. And obviously par 4 scoring start to come a little bit more. That's just obvious there. Let's see the winners though. What were the key stats for those winners? This is always tough to get the one. Maybe we'll look at just top 2. We'll do that. All right, players that finished first or, well, we got to do first or second here. So let's trade this down. There we go. I got it. All right. So players that finished in first place over the last 4 years, we'll see which key stats that they had going for them. Give it a quick second to load here. And just recapping on the winners, it was Rory finishing -16, Webb Simpson finishing -18, Siwoo Kim finishing -10, and then Jason Day finishing -15 there. And these are the key stats for them that week. So ball striking, total driving, scrambling actually came into play. A little bit surprising there to me. Good drive percentage, huge for those guys. Interesting there. Might have to do good drive percentage there. Good drives gained possibly there. Bogey avoidance, birdie to bogey ratio. So you guys can really see there. Birdie or better percentage, yes, it's good, but you really want to focus in on one of the other 2 scoring stats, bogey avoidance or birdie to bogey ratio. Really up to you guys. If you guys want, I guess, a little bit more predictability, bogey avoidance. But if you guys want a little bit more hit or miss, then probably you would want to favor birdie to bogey ratio. Strokes gained to the green, obviously that's going to be a key stat. Same thing with par 4 scoring. Once again, we do see this stat kind of pop up a little bit more. And then inside of 125, that's a little bit shocking to me. I don't think I'll end up on that number, but that's kind of interesting to me. I guess they are a little bit longer hitters, a little bit. No, not really. Just interesting there. So for me, good drives percentage, you know, that'd be something I look at probably. Birdie to bogey ratio, strokes gained to the green, strokes gained off the tee. No, I'm not going to be looking at that. Ball striking and total driving for me, and then probably par 5 scoring as well. But I'm going to keep this video short and sweet, so that is going to be all it is, because I'm going to be coming out with that core plays video here in about an hour after this video gets uploaded. So definitely make sure to check that out. If you guys want to use the tools here at 9 to 5 Sports, link is in the description below. It is $10 a month, best value in PGA DFS. Get you all the tools that you need and more. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'm out, and as always, let's keep cashing.